New Year's with Connor.
Yeah.
And so we're at the pub sort of thing, and you guys went outside. I think because you wanted to smoke, or he wanted to smoke, whatever was going on. You guys wanted to go outside, and so you're saying, "Oh, just put your drink down." I did not want to do that. Because like your drink gets spiked, or somebody puts their cigarette out and or whatever. I sculled the thing. It was
never leave a drink unattended in a public place. That's I
think Connor had put his drink like in the doorway or something, or next to the doorway or something, so he could grab it again. Or I don't think he had a drink, whatever it was.
He's a trusting individual.
Yeah.
I just don't like holding things, carrying things around. But like, unless like the point is to carry it, if I can avoid it, I will. I like my hands being free. I'm not like a man who's like got to do stuff with his hands. I think.
Yeah.
Like I'm more than happy to just have them be idle.
Well, I like doing stuff with my hands. That's kind of why I work, and like why I like working in a factory and like doing gardening and things like that.
Well, what I mean by that, like I know a lot of people who like to fiddle. Right. Yeah. That's why the fidget spinner even exists. It's for people who have that thing where like they just kind of got to do something with their hands. So let's spin a little thing. But
it's just distracting.
Yeah, it's distracting, but it gives you something to do when you got nothing to do. People just like to have their hands do stuff.
At uni, there was.
I'm not like that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I never got a fidget spinner.
No. So I show up to the tutorial kind of late or whatever. Everyone else is kind of there. I don't really remember. I love
the concept of everyone else is kind of there.
They're all kind of...
They're just zipping in and out corporeally.
Yeah, they're all like fading in front of me. So they're kind of...
like TV static going on.
Anyway, I think the teacher's talking or whatever. Person next to me, click, 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 click.
Yeah.
And I'm so pissed off of them. Like, I hope you fucking die.
Clicking a pen is what he's
There's someone on the other side of the room also clicking their pen. I'm like, stop fucking around. Just play with your leg or something. It's so noisy.
Play with your dick like I am.
Don't make annoying noises when you're doing it.
It's a psychological thing for sure. Like they can't help it.
Don't distract me while I'm trying to listen.
Yeah, it is a little annoying when you rope other people into something like that, for sure.
Like, if you just, like, I don't know, play with your fingers or something, or fiddle with your pants or something.
Yeah.
I can put up with that, because, like, what do you do when you fiddle? You gotta... But it's the clicking of the pen, but it's loud and obnoxious.
I get it.
I do it
sometimes to think, but I only do it like a couple of times, just to kind of like a rhythm, So like when I'm in the shops, I have my my pen in my phone, so I'll be like looking at my phone. I'll just kind of go, and then like that's about as much as I do. It's just sort of like a thinky, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it's cool that you got the drawing pen
for my phone.
Yeah, and that you got like the app and everything.
Yeah, man, it's because I got to draw. It's I got to write notes and little doodles all the time. Little pictures of naked ladies.
Lovely.
Mainly, I just use it to write notes because I just like writing notes by hand rather than texting it. Yeah. I don't even like text to speech because it doesn't do what you want it to do. I once wrote this whole like paragraph of text to speech for a cast note, and I went back through the entire thing and kind of rewrote it because it just wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to. Like it doesn't do punctuation, so it's like.
Yeah.
I should have it if you yell it instead of capital letters or something. Yeah, I used to live with someone who fiddled with stuff all the time, and I learned pretty quickly to if I wanted my belongings to not be fucked with to the point of potentially being broken, I should put those things away whenever they're around. I've lost probably one too many of my possessions due to such a thing. But it is what it is. Like I know it's not something people can help. And I really don't want to come across as if it's like, oh, this is so annoying. Why do people do this? I understand. I just don't think I'm like that. Like, if you're like, just sit there and don't do anything, I'll sit there like I'm sitting here right now. I just have my arms crossed and just stare into the ceiling or something like that. I'm very good at not doing anything, even when there's something to do. Like going at a doctor's office. Like I went to the doctor's office once with my grandpa, and he went in to get checks. So I just kind of sat there, and there was a TV on, but it was playing like one of those horrible shows, like Married at First Sight, I think it's called. Yeah. And I'm like, so my choices are watch this TV show, read one of these magazines that that literally have no interest at all, play with my phone, or sit here and do nothing. Or by playing my phone, it's like read Twitter. So I'm like, I'm going to sit here and do nothing. So I stared at the ceiling. I didn't want to do any of those things. I'd rather do nothing. And I sat there exactly like I'm doing right now. Arms crossed, legs crossed.
In times like that, there have been times where I've just been like left sitting in the car, nothing to do. Or I didn't bring anything. I didn't anticipate sitting here doing nothing. So I just sort of start thinking about the things that I want to do or something like that. Just sort of like running through thoughts.
Actually, if you know you've got like an hour to kill, what do you do? What do you bring? I bring my Switch.
I bring a book.
Just a book? Okay.
It's like if I go to the doctor's office or I go to pick up some drugs from the chemist and I go to wait, I bring a book and I read a book. I'm reading Chapter House June.
Actually, those are different things for me. If I'm waiting for something at the chemist, I'll go for a walk because I know the area.
Okay.
It's like walk around the block.
I just sit in the chairs. Chemist has changed a bit over the years, but like they expanded it. Double the size it used to be.
The thing is, I don't like spending time in the chemist like that longer than I have to because I feel kind of weird because of all the COVID stuff. Like I don't want to just sit there and just be like, just waiting for my medication. I don't know. I'd rather go and do something. Go to the shops. Go to the.
They're often playing music these days as well. It's not so boring the whole time.
That's true, but music can piss me off. I live near a school, and they have had no less than 3 sports days in the last 2 weeks.
What?
And yesterday was the cream of the crop because they're right over there, and I can hear the speakers, and they were playing music all day yesterday. But when I say music all day, I don't mean like the radio or like different songs all day. I mean the same like 3 songs all day. I think I heard the song I Like to Move It probably about 58 times yesterday. And I think I was like, I wonder if I walked up there, right, pretend that I was like a parent of one of the kids, just kind of, slowly made my way to the speakers and just kind of snipped the cables to the amps and just kind of walked away. Do you think I could get away with that? Just kind of cut them.
Because you're an I think a woman can get away with it. An unaccompanied adult man could not get away with it.
Walking onto a.
You can't just walk into a. Even if a woman did it, it'd still be weird. Because
what I'm saying, like, if I was like.
But you'd assume that the woman's there for a kid or something.
If it looked like I was there.
Yeah.
As a dad or whatever, and I'm just kind of wandering around and just kind of like snip. Though I'll tell you what, actually, there is a thing with being a man and doing things like that. There's an example. A woman. So I walk to the shops all the time, and the last like 3 or 4 days, every time I've walked to the shops, I've noticed that a couple of days ago, a woman left her shoes like out down the path, right? Just a pair of shoes.
Okay.
Right. And I'm thinking, well, this is litter. This is, weird and gross and like, why haven't they come back and gotten their shoes? Why were they here in the first place? But a part of me is like, I can't even like look at these shoes because, or pick them up because I think I'm going to look like a creep. Picking up
Unless you just chuck them straight in the bin.
Well, yeah, but I got to like pick them up and walk with them, and like there are people around, and I'm just like, so I'm kind of just like every day I'm walking past, like I hope someone else picks up these shoes.
If I saw a guy holding shoes, I'd probably think
female shoes.
Yeah, like if they're little high heels or like the sort of sandal things that they wear or whatever.
They're like flats or something, I think.
Whatever they are. and like they look particularly girly, you'd assume that like his girlfriend's taken off her shoes and she's run off doing something.
Maybe, but I don't know. I think that, like, if you just see like a guy like myself walk into a park and you see him like look at the shoes and go, oh, and pick him up. I don't know. I just have this thing.
You'd be like, hey, that guy's just stolen someone's shoes.
Maybe. I don't know. I just feel like that there's a thing about like, because I'd think that, right? Maybe if I saw like a man go up and like pick up some girl's shoes, I'd be like, that's weird and gross and creepy.
Yeah.
You know? So I just I just walk past them. I'm like, I hope someone else picks these shoes up because I ain't touching them.
If I put something on the ground in a public area, then I expect it to be stolen. I would expect it to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's what the owner of the shoes probably thought. Like, oh, they're gone forever.
I mean, if they put them down, they probably didn't have a place of their own to put them down, or maybe they were in between places.
I don't know, but I'm very conscious of that. Like thinking about, I don't want to be seen like a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, because I get it. I'm an adult man by himself that looks probably a bit too shaggy right now.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't trust me either.
Yeah.
So I just try and like look as pleasant as I can, and you know, taking the dog for a walk with me is pretty good because like, oh, he's just like a dog walker.
I particularly ask girls about the beard, because I'm like, I'm not convinced that that it looks good. Especially like if I wanted to attract a girl, but the thing is,
the mate.
Yeah, well,
it's mating season.
Whatever.
You puff out your chest.
But I mean, like, is that attractive? And then I think, well, I don't like if you like. It's just a whole different game for a guy. Like, if a guy approaches a girl, starts talking to her, and you know they strike up a conversation, it doesn't matter what he looks like anymore because you're talking.
I guess.
But on the other hand, if I don't know. Like but for a guy, I think it matters what the girl looks like before you approach her, but only a little bit. You just got to think, do I want to talk to her?
I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, to be honest. I'm not gonna. I can't comment on it.
I've been doing a fair bit of it lately. I think about it.
I don't think that I think the same way you do in terms of relationships and approaching women, to be honest. But like really, I'm pretty like I'm so out of like the dating world, dude. My worldview has changed actually a bit in these last few months about like getting married and living together with someone forever. Like I've completely like I'm just out of it, man. I'm gone. Like I don't really want to talk about it because like I don't want to I don't want to come across as if like, you know, I don't believe in this kind of stuff, so therefore you shouldn't either. I'm not like that. I don't want to be like that at all. But
makes
like,
you happy, do it.
That's what I mean.
As long as it's not illegal or frowned upon.
Well, I'm not. That implies I'm doing anything. No, it's the opposite. I'm not doing anything at all. I'm not even trying, and I don't care.
No.
And I don't know. I'm digging it. I'm digging this way of life. But and that kind of ties into what I was going to say. Like, I don't care. Like, I mean, you know, you should dress the way that you want to dress.
Yeah.
That looks good to you.
That's
not what you think would look good for other people.
No.
You know, if you are like, I don't like the way this beard looks,
no, well, that's why.
Get rid of it.
Like, you have your own style.
Like right now, for instance, my beard, the reason I have it is because I'm very, very lazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was going to shave it the other day, and then I got a big case of the, I'm very sad, so I didn't. I've also, that's the one thing, that's, Mabeanie is laughing, by the way. I think he choked on a chip.
I choked on a chip. I was laughing. Yeah. So,
yeah, I'll probably shave soon, though. It's getting to that point where it's, like, annoying.
I do the sides, because I'm like, keep the goatee. I shave the sides, I trim the mustache, like, to get stuff out from past my lips. And I get like the trimmer thing, although I've been letting it grow at the bottom bit,
I can tell.
because it's kind of everywhere.
It's always a...
We were talking about it at work. A bunch of us guys have got beards, and so boss says, "Hey, Mabeanie, how's your beard going along?" He wants it to get big like his. He's got this huge, like, big dark beard, and so he wants to. But I think that what I have to do is I'd have to shave a lot and then start again and it'd grow faster.
Yeah, probably. I'm just so like casual about it. I basically I shave it when it gets annoying, and there's like a point. I don't know if you get this, but like, where a couple of things happen. One is where it's like it gets in your mouth all the time. It's like, and you're constantly like, yeah.
The mustache gets too big, you get bits in your mouth.
It starts poking into you.
Yeah.
You know. And like I find it really difficult to sleep because I'm being poked by my own beard all the time. And then it's kind of funny because then like I'm so used to having a beard that I shave it, and then I can't sleep because my face feels weird because it's all shaved.
Yeah.
My beard still doesn't come in very well, in my opinion.
No.
Thanks. Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, well, I think the sides are better than my sides. Along there.
Yeah, I got crazy sideburns.
Yeah.
At least it feels like it from where I'm feeling right now. Anyway. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, I should shave as soon as like you leave today. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, my side's all patchy, and so I mainly like to tidy that up.
My problem right now is that I'm very routined right now, believe it or not. And I have a routine where at a certain time I go have a shower, and then after that shower I go to bed, right? But I like to do things like shaving and things while I have my shower, or like around that time. But like I gotta schedule in time to shave in that time of like, because I want to go to bed at the same time.
Well, then wash faster.
I guess. I don't know.
So,
but I don't know how long it'll take to get rid of my beard. It's annoying. I got 2 different razors. I got an electric one and a normal one, and then I gotta go over it and like check that you don't have like there's always like 1 or 2 stray hairs that you somehow completely miss on your bottom of your neck. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
You get that?
Yeah, actually, that's the main bit that I don't like, is the neck hair, which sort of goes out of control.
Neck beard.
It's not barely anything. It's just fluff.
This is more adult talk, by the way. It's like being an adult male in a society that treats you like you don't exist. I think I'm quoting Joker there. I'm not quite sure. Joker.
I like playing with it.
It is fun to scratch and stuff. I'm always doing this.
Well, have you ever had it this long?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
that's probably the
play
longest.
Play with it and you can almost put it in your mouth.
Yeah, that's probably the longest I've ever had it. What you've got.
But if you're scratching with it or like trying to make it straight or something with your fingers and getting rid of all the knots, then you get bits falling out and they fall in your cereal in the morning and you go, oh God.
No.
Falls in my spaghetti at lunchtime. I go, God
not
damn
the spaghetti. No, I don't think I've gone to that far yet. I don't know. I wash my face pretty thoroughly, and if there is any stray hairs, they leave at that point probably. I should also say, and I think about this, believe it or not, I think about you. I think about your unending quest for true love. And I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Okay.
And I think to myself, like, because the way that I currently am is that I'm really not trying to look for a relationship at all. But if it happens, cool.
Yeah.
Great. And what I wouldn't want is for you to be like, you weren't even trying, and now you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I worry about
I would be upset about that.
I know you would be. But I wouldn't. But you'd have to understand.
I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people. Is that they're not trying, and then it happens.
I wouldn't reject her, provide like someone just because it might hurt your feelings. And I want you to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to do that.
Yeah.
So I live my life, you live yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's just what I'm saying. Like, I've been saying to you over and over again, like, I don't care, I'm not doing anything. But if fate happens to go that way, I hope that you're not too bitter.
It's luck of the draw, really. It's more of your life is made up of circumstances than you actually making your own life.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't think I'm currently talking to any girls that are not part of my family.
Yeah.
and I don't think I've spoken to any of them in like months and months. I think this is a good series though, because I feel like you don't have to watch the whole thing. We've been talking about adult life and such.
That's kind of my favourite thing about Mab and Tom,
Mm.
is that each bit is just like a whole new thing.
This is what I feel we should do.
Yeah.
Mab and Tom should be just us talking about life and shit, and then we should have like another podcast or something like it that's just creative stuff.
Okay,
Like-
so like YouTube,
comics, animations, magazines,
Yeah.
drawing, everything.
Okay.
Writing, because we talk about writing so much in Same that I worry that people are just like, I don't care about your fucking comic. Play goddamn Hollow Knight better.
Yeah.
That's my worry, at least. That's just the way I think about things.
Yeah. So how would we do the podcast? Is it going to be on a sound platform? Like on SoundCloud or something?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
You
I just
haven't?
think of the
Yeah.
concept. It would be cool to talk about things like that. Though I remember I was arguing with you last time I brought up the idea, because you insisted if we were to make a podcast, it should involve Frank. And I kept saying, Frank doesn't create things. We can't,
Yeah.
I like the idea of having a themed podcast where we have something to talk about each week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did tell Frank about like as part of like the 10-year stuff to do like a podcast sort of series thing, but I can't think of a lot of things that he can be a part of, and he can't really, because he says he's just like not that sort of person. He doesn't think about those sorts of things. Doesn't think about a lot of things. Although like when he asks me a question, it's often about like anime or something.
That's what he's interested in.
Yeah.
Do an anime podcast with him.
I mean, I've got nothing to say about anime.
Well,
Except, we did talk about Code Lyoko, which was, like, you ever watch Code Lyoko?
Never heard of it.
It was on when we were, like, primary school or something, early high school. And it was, like, it's got, like, the normal world, the real world, which is in, like, cartoonified looking thing. Not a proper anime style, but I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's probably got a special name. Basically, they're just like normal high school students, whatever. They go into this like computer lab, and then they get transported into the 3D world where they're fighting crime or whatever. Fighting the bad guys. That was a cool show. I used to watch that after school, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you could do, though. You could do like a Sardonicast thing,
Mm.
where like Frank recommends an anime, and then we all
Ooh.
come back and watch it, and then give
Yeah.
our thoughts. And Frank, because he's already seen the show, he can give his insight, and we, or just you or whoever, can be like. I think it'd be really interesting from your perspective, because you don't really like anime that much.
Yeah.
So and that could be kind of interesting. So I can appreciate anime. Like there's
Yeah.
quite a few that I really like.
Yeah.
There's quite a few that I really don't like, but that's usually because no one likes them.
Mm.
And Frank, he seems to be just a general anime fan, and so he would recommend a show, and then we'd come back, and I'd be like, yeah, I thought it was good. I like these parts. You're like, well, it sucked. You'd be like, this fucking show sucked. I didn't understand what was going on. Why did that happen? And we'd be like, well, because
He was talking to me about. I don't know if it's in an episode of Civ that's out or in one that's not out yet.
I don't know.
Was
I
it-
don't watch it.
But he was talking about Into the Abyss. Is that what it's called?
Made in Abyss.
Made in Abyss.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite animes. It's in my top 5.
So he's saying that he started reading the manga because it goes in a better direction than the anime or something like that.
It goes further than the anime.
Yeah, it does like a better thing, whatever.
I bet I know what he's gonna say.
Mm.
The manga goes way harder into some of these really
The themes.
yeah,
Yeah.
some of the very Japanese things that they do.
I should direct him to Mickle Pickle's thing that he does, like
Mickle
the
Pickle.
animated chapters.
Yeah,
Stuff.
Yeah,
He'd be interested in that.
I was thinking of hiring him, by the way.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna try and get the voice actors back for Cass and Clementine.
To make like a cast thing,
Yeah,
just
I
like
wanna
that
make-
sort of Made in Abyss thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickle Pickle's
That'd be
got like
cool.
amazing editing skills in that regard.
Yeah.
So I'll just be like, can you do mine? I'll pay you.
Mm.
I have the money.
Just pitch the idea to him. You have him on Discord.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanna get things more
He's
organized.
the worst person to communicate with. There's no concrete way I can think of that guarantees he'll reply.
Really?
I'm pretty sure the phone number I have doesn't work anymore.
Oh.
I have him on Steam. I'll post a comment on YouTube or something, or whatever,
Mm.
and it's just luck of the draw if he's online and cares enough to respond.
Fair enough, I suppose.
But some people are weird like that. I'm talking to someone who's saying that. Like I was asking her, what is the longest amount of what's a long time to wait for a response for someone on Messenger or like just in messaging in general? And she said a day, and I'm like, that is like way shorter than the amount of time that I typically wait for responses. I think with like good friends like you and Reflex and Luca,
Mm-hmm.
you guys. Well, actually, Luca's kind of terrible sometimes. Aaron and Ben,
Yeah.
you're fine. Like within 24 hours, I'll probably get a response.
Yeah.
Luca, you just got to catch him at a good time.
My thing is
Send
that
is awful.
I'll read your text and then I'll be like,
You're busy or something.
it's usually either I'm busy or like you send it at night and I'm like, I'm gonna respond to it tomorrow because I kind of have like a cutoff point at night where I kind of stop doing things.
Yeah.
And then it's like, are you gonna be busy on the 24th at this time? Like, oh, I don't know, tomorrow. I'll look at the things tomorrow. You know? That's usually what it is. And you text me at like, what I would imagine, you say you go to bed at like 9:30, so I'd imagine it'd be right before you go to bed sometimes.
Yeah.
You sent me one the other day, I think about today. It was at like 9 o'clock or something. And I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
it was.
I'm
Yeah,
like
it
getting
was.
ready for bed. Like I'm not gonna respond to this.
Yeah, it was like wind down time. I was like, oh, I gotta send me a
Because
text
I
message.
kind of look at text messages the same way I look at like emails, which is
Mm.
like it's like a morning thing. The
Mm.
first thing you do, you wake up, check emails, respond.
I don't.
Well, your business or your work is different to my work
Yeah.
in that regard.
So there's no real reason why I do it, but I don't check my emails until the afternoon. The reason the explanation for why I came found out about the idea at all was I watched this guy called Friendly Geordies,
Right.
also known as Jordan Shanks. That's his actual name, I guess. Specifically, his Jordan Shanks channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like self-help sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about self-help, but that's because he reads a lot of stuff about self-help. But he mostly criticizes it and stuff, and like comes up with like, this is a good idea, you should do this, give this a go, stuff like that. But he had like a list of books that he apparently has when people go to his comedy shows, because he's a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
Mostly political oriented stuff. But one of the books was called Don't Check Your Emails in the Morning. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna not check my emails in the morning.
Have you read why?
Nope. But that's what I mean. That's what I mean by I don't know why I do it. Like I don't understand the reason why it's a bad
I'd
idea.
be curious as to why. Yeah, because
I think it's because like some people get emails like maybe business or personal emails that might stress them out early in the morning, and you don't want that in the morning.
my logic is that
You don't want to ruin your day at the start of the day.
no, my logic is that I get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
So it's like, oh, this is an important thing. Like when I was doing the tax thing the other day,
Yeah.
I got up and like my roommate was like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll do it later. I'm like, no, I'm doing this right now.
Yeah.
Because like, this is stressing me out.
Yeah.
I'm getting that out of the way. And then when it was done, I was able to I actually had a pretty good day
Oh,
after
yeah.
that. I was relaxed.
Yeah.
Played some Animal Crossing. I was like, this is great.
I got credit card scammed. recently.
What?
Yep.
What was my god?
So someone's got my credit card information. It's not gone bad, but I've been anxious about the amount of money I have in my account. I need to make it.
Cancelled the card, right?
I don't know how to do it.
You need to call your bank.
Yeah, I know. So I think I've got to find time in the day where
I think that takes priority.
yeah.
I think you just do it like
I don't know. What I just decided to do was just transfer the money and be like, I'll be happy with just like if I think I've got like $700 in the bank. And so
Well, let me tell you, you should inform your bank, even if you're like, it's alright. Because then they can not only cancel the card, but I think what they can do is, like, if they see that someone uses it, then they can be like, that guy who's using that card, he's a thief.
Yeah. So so what I'm gonna do is activate a new card, cancel the old one.
Yes.
That's what I need to do.
You should do that immediately.
Yeah.
That's like the advice. I mean, look.
I'll be able to do it Sunday morning.
Banks are closed on Sunday.
God damn it. Why can't they be 24-hour global operations?
I mean, it might be. It might be if it's something like that serious. I don't know. Okay, well, it's up to you, man. I've given you my
exactly.
advice.
It's up to me.
Okay,
I'm happy to not have $700. Like all of a sudden.
I wouldn't.
No. I'm just happy as long as I'm still alive and most of my life savings are not in that account.
I value money. I drive people home quite often, actually. When I think about it. Because there's different random people that were like, hey, can I get a ride? And I'm like, alright. Can you open the window, though, so it doesn't smell like marijuana?
Yeah.
And he's like, you got it, bro.
Yeah. I said to my workmate, I said, but I'm going to have to tell you no smoking in the car. He was like, yeah, it's fine, no worries.
Brad smoked in my car once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was like, you mind if I smoke? I'm like,
it already smells like dog.
yeah, I was like, well, as long as you keep the window open, I guess. He did, fair enough. But I was just kind of like, this is weird. I should have done that.
I should have
just said no.
I said to my workmate, if you do smoke, you're going to have to stick your head out the window.
Yeah. My car is a temple. It's not really. I mean, it is.
My car doesn't smell. It doesn't need smells.
I do notice. The
only smell it's ever going to have is me sweating.
When I was walking the other day, I did see like a lot of people with air fresheners in their car, and I was just like, why? I don't know. I feel like those things aren't as effective as people think they are.
I don't think they last as long as people think they do.
I think that's the main thing, yeah. And they just kind of leave it there forever. My car, I'm very proud of my car. And again, we want to get into like adult, or at least like young adult stuff. But like, compared to some of our peers, my car is fucking beautiful. It runs fine. Just had it serviced yesterday.
Okay.
Like, is Gucci. That car is like 11 years old now. And it's clean. It's a clean car. I don't keep junk in it. I don't keep garbage in it. If someone wants to get in the passenger seat like you did this afternoon, you know, there wasn't garbage around. Right?
Your car is nice.
Thank you.
I did like that it was clean.
Yeah, it's clean. And
I
you could
got
put,
in
you
it.
had like
I can put my
room.
feet in the car.
Yeah, and there wasn't like shit on the dashboard or in the anything.
It's comfy. It's all well looked
Yeah,
up.
like if you wanted to put your guitar in the back seat.
It was clean on the outside as well, not like covered in dust or anything.
Oh, that's because of the service yesterday.
Oh, okay.
They give it a quick rinse, I think.
Oh, okay.
Though
So
it might not be good now because of the rainwater.
Yeah. So when you say a service, what exactly did they do? They changed and checked the oil or whatever.
Yeah, they just did the whole thing on once over.
Okay.
I think they could give it a spray down.
Yeah, because you can change your own oil if you want. I don't know if you're allowed to do it on the street, but
I'm not a car guy, dude.
No.
And like they have it's like they have a thing, a little sticker that's like at this time bring it in for another service. It's like, you know, your 10K service and stuff like that. That's what it is. Yeah. It's not like my car's I run out of oil, I gotta go put it in. It's more of just like it's just a checkup. You know, see how it's going, make sure it's still going alright. Yeah. Pump up the tires a little or something. I don't know what they do. All I know is that I pay the bill at the end and then I go home. And forget to rearrange my mirror. Yeah. Because they always bump it or some shit and it's like at an angle and like I can kind of see half the road behind me. I'm like, and they always put the seat as far forward as possible for some reason. Yeah. Little tiny man inside the car, I gotta all the way back. I take pride in my cleanliness. I'm not the cleanest or most well groomed person in the world.
But like it's a livable place that people can sit down and live in. Yeah. Yeah. That's like. My house is like, whatever it is, I ought to call it, like your old house.
Right, yeah. What's a family like house?
Yeah, so I had like, there's a little bit of crap around the place, but it's livable.
I can see myself when I get my own place, because it would be small, just a little apartment. I think I'd probably keep it decently clean. I don't like living in junk, and I don't actually make a lot of mess.
No.
Really, I don't produce garbage that much. Whenever I go stay somewhere, I'm just like, they like put out the bins on this night, and I put in like half of a bin bag, if that. I'm like, well, that was my whole week's worth of shit. Yeah. But yeah, that place was like, it was as if like it was like a spider's web. It's like really old. It's like a massive cobweb, and like a little termite had like buried a very specific path through it. Yeah, so I take pride in my cleanliness in both my house and my car, and I like it when I can have someone sit in my car and they can.
Yeah,
They don't have to like put their feet like to the left and like away from like a big pile of like garbage, like takeaway food that's just been kind of half eaten. Like, okay, yep, and they're like, it'll be fine. I'll just chuck it in the back, and they turn around to the back, and there's like half a table, and they're like, yeah, you can just keep it there. All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, I work with people who drive very quickly. Maybe it's just like because they're the kinds of people that would work in factories. I'm not the kind of person that would work in a factory. I just do. This is it's just like circumstances. I was unemployed looking for work, and this is what I've got.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I am not a reckless driver.
No.
And I don't enjoy driving because
No,
everyone else is a reckless driver.
Yeah.
I like going the speed limit, and it makes me self-conscious because say you go on like the highway or the freeway, and the speed limit's like 120, and you're going 120, and everyone else is going 150.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why? Where do you have to be so bad, dude?
On the way here.
People just piss me off so much.
On the way here, there was, like, going up the hill. Usually people... So it's a 60 zone. But people know it's going to be an 80 zone later, so they start heading to 80 straight away.
Yeah.
And I go 60.
Yeah.
And then we get to 80. And then I start going dead on the dot 80, maybe 81, 82 at most.
Yeah.
And I start to pass, and I'm like, I hate you all. Why are you so pathetic?
Why are they slowing down?
Because they're like, I'm going to go 78 or whatever. It's because like, even my car goes like, it's like constantly changing gears, going up the hill.
Right.
It's going like, because if I go 82, then I let go of the accelerator to let it go back down to 80. But then it changes down a gear, and then so it's like.
By the way, this is kilometers per hour, not miles per hour.
Yeah, kilometers an hour.
Because.
And that just it pissed me off because. It really especially pissed me off when I went around the corner to get onto the next road.
Okay.
Yeah. And like there's this full drive that had done that thing. It had gone from it had kind of skipped going 60 and went to 80, but it wasn't really going 80. It was going like 78. And then we get to the top of the hill, so they were stuck behind a bunch of people. And they were kind of going a bit slow, but I thought they were going fast enough to go around to go like onto the Golden Way at a decent speed. So I pull in behind them, and then next thing you know, I'm going 60. I'm like, what the fuck? I could have been going 80 and stayed in my lane and passed all you bastards.
Isn't it just like a thing though, where it's like?
And then we get on, they're going like 65 in a 70 zone, and I'm boxed in, and I'm like, screw this. I'm gonna take the other way to Liam's house.
I feel that, man.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm not an angry driver. I don't have road rage. I'm not an inherently angry person in general. I find it very hard to get annoyed.
I like to think of myself as like a safe, angry driver.
Yeah.
Like I'll drive angrily, but I won't endanger anyone.
I'll never compromise myself.
No.
I just like to sieve. I just like to look at people and go, come on, man.
I like them to know that I'm angry at them.
But that feeling of like, I'm going the speed limit, and then the person behind you can tell is like, I'm impatient, and then the first opportunity they can overtake you, they take it, and and then you meet them at the stoplight, and you're just like, so what was that about, you know?
Oh.
What are you trying to prove? We're here now, at the same spot. You overtaking me has done nothing. And you know... It's why, as well, I have tremendous fear going into the hills.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, some people brave that thing. They just go.
Too many
flying.
people. We have extremely windy hills here.
It's such a... And people die.
They have.
going
I've
to
seen
the-
it, actually. I saw someone die once. Yeah. Well, at least I think so. I saw a motorbike that had crashed and a man lying on the ground, not moving.
Oh.
That was when I was a kid.
Oh.
But yeah, they're really, really windy. And, like, the thing is, if you were to, for instance, fall off, like, go off the edge, you'd just be falling for ages.
Yeah.
Because it's like
You
they're
will- you
tall.
will almost certainly die.
Yeah, oh yeah. And so, especially motorcyclists, they use it as like a challenge on the weekends. They'll zip up and down all the time. But it gives me great anxiety. So, I do the worst thing possible, apparently, which is to go the fucking speed limit. Like around the windy hills.
Sometimes I go slower. If like this is
Yeah,
a tight
yeah.
corner, I'm going to go slower.
Well, they have recommendations for the corners, you
Yeah.
can see. But I sometimes go slower.
Sometimes like you're the driver. You're making the judgment.
But everyone else on the road is like, the speed limit is just a suggestion. And so, this is my great fear. And it's my great fear because it's happened many times before. Say you're going the speed limit, right?
Yep.
Everyone else is like, I hate the speed limit. It's just a suggestion, right? You start getting a pile up of cars behind you because you're daring to go the appropriate speed. And there's like nowhere to pull off, for instance, and let them go past.
You know what I do? When someone's up behind me like that,
Yeah.
I slow down more. And I'm like,
Well,
fuck you, asshole.
the reason I don't do that is
Alright.
because the hills up there, they're one-way roads, right?
Yeah.
So there's the oncoming traffic road right there, like right next to you. And when you're going around the corners, you got to be careful because there could be a car coming like right in front of you.
Yeah, you don't want to veer
might-
off the line.
They can come out of nowhere. So what happens is if you're going too slow, and some asshole behind you's like,
Oh, you don't want to overtake you and then have a collision that
Yeah.
ends up hitting you.
you got it,
Oh.
it. And that's my greatest fear, and that's why I hate driving the hills so much. Because you got these people. Because the thing is, if they're going so fast that they're up your ass, then they're probably an impatient person. I'm sorry if this categorizes you, but like seriously, if you don't have the patience to go the speed limit, you are an impatient person. And yeah, my greatest fear is like someone just being like, "This guy's going too slow. I'm gonna overtake him." Go into the oncoming traffic lane, which I've seen happen all the time.
Even though it's an unbroken line. Most of the time it's an unbroken line, especially the windy bits.
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially the windy bits, yeah. But people do it anyway, and my greatest fear is like one day some guy is going to just try and overtake me. There'll be a car coming on the oncoming traffic light. They can't see it because of the windy roads, and they're really close windy roads, so there's like no like big stretch where you can see what's coming.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I don't like living up in the hills. Because there's a place I stay up in the hills which I actually really like,
Yeah.
but I can't. I was like, the only thing stopping me from living here is the location.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, there you go. There's some driving anxiety. for you.
Driving through the hills is one of those places, one of those things where, like, if I'm stuck behind someone, and I'm like, well, this sucks, we're going like 10k's or 5k's under the speed limit, I'm not happy. I'm not going to be a pain in the ass because it's a dangerous location. I'm going to be like, okay, I guess we're going this speed, this is annoying. And I'm just going to be like, alright, I'm going to back off, we're going to just go this speed.
Yeah, I'd rather go slower.
You know, and then hope that they have a turn off soon.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I was behind someone, like actually, I like it when I'm in the hills and like I'm at the back of a pile up in the car. Like this is the safest spot. I feel best here.
Yeah.
Or if there's like someone in front of me that's going slow, I can be like, it's not my fault. It's his. Yeah. I'm not the one going slow. It's him. I swear.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, my favorite place to drive is like up the highways, like up into the hills into the country, because there's like 3 or 4 lanes. Because if there's some guy, which there always is, at least like 20, who are like, 120 is too slow for me. I'm pedaling to the metal.
Okay.
Then they got the lanes to just go, right? Like
Okay.
obviously they're gonna get pings because you will still get fined.
Maybe, so you're going like dead on the speed limit when you're on the highways?
Theoretically, yeah.
Right. Because when I'm on them...
I say theoretically, by the way. Yes, I am usually.
Yeah. When I'm on them, like I might put the car on into cruise and just sit on 110.
I don't have cruise control,
No.
so
Your car's newer than mine.
maybe it does, and I don't know how to use it. I don't know. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I like having control of my car, I guess.
It's like, I go on the hills, I put the cruise into 110 until I get up to the back of a car, and for some reason I have to wait because this knick-knack's decided he wants to just be there for a while. Not get into the left-hand lane like he should.
Yeah.
And then I pass like heaps of cars. People are going maybe going 5Ks or 10Ks under the speed limit.
You'll definitely see that up in those situations where people are just going weirdly slow.
Especially on like a Sunday afternoon. Sunday drivers.
Like, I'm not saying
going so slow.
I never overtake people. I have like a thing where like, is this reasonable to overtake? And it's usually like they're going below the speed limit, then yes. It's basically how it is. The way I try and drive is I'm always at the speed limit. If there's someone faster than me, let them go ahead. I don't want anything to do with them. And if there's someone slower than me, I'll go ahead because like you're going the wrong speed limit.
One thing I get anxious about when I want to overtake someone is that
someone from a lane over is gonna come in the same lane at the same time.
I do like double, triple check that, like, and slowly go into the lane.
Yeah, I'm like,
what's he doing? What's he doing?
You couldn't tell what I was doing. I was like looking over my shoulder like 5 times.
Yeah. But another thing is like, if I go to overtake this person and then they decide, oh, I'm gonna speed up now, and they're like, oh, just go the speed limit, okay? And then I get back behind them, I go, come on. Or I speed up, go like 5 or 10Ks over the speed limit to get in front of them because I'm like, you're a pain in the ass. I went to Reflex's house, like whenever it was, December last year.
Yep.
And I had like kind of demolished the leftover veggies from the night before's roast, stuff like that. Ate the meat, but I think it was left over like potato bake or something. What did I have the potato? I can't remember.
Well, don't look at me.
I'm looking at you because I'm talking to you.
You looked at me as if you were like, what did
you
I
were
have?
there. You would know.
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does this matter to the story?
No. No, that's kind of it. I ate his leftovers.
Can I completely change this topic back to something we were talking about before?
Yeah, sure.
Can I rant about coffee culture?
Yeah.
I don't understand coffee culture. And I think that people are brainwashed.
Yeah.
You know those people, and people...
Actually, at Ski for Life, they have like a coffee van.
Yeah.
You see all these people like lining up to get coffee van and stuff. Why?
I just like, and this is someone who doesn't drink coffee, so it's like, obviously I'm going to have this sort of bias. But I look at it, and people, you know, there's memes about it even, where it's like, you wouldn't like me if I haven't had my coffee in the morning, or I have to have my coffee in the morning, or else I'm not even a real person. And I think to myself, like, you put yourself in that situation, first off.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's interesting how, like, it's sort of a justification for what is effectively an addiction.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to go this hard. I really don't. Like, it's coffee. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But a part of me is like, you know, you've been kind of socially... I feel like I'm some kind of political activist that's trying to convince people, like, ranting on their talk show. But I kind of look at it as like a, you know, you've been sort of socially convinced that like drinking coffee is normal, which it is, but like the addiction part is normal because there are so many people who are addicted to coffee and legitimately cannot function without a daily dose of coffee or in the morning.
That's addiction.
That's an addiction. And I just kind of think to myself, you know, I don't think it's quirky and I don't think it's funny and I don't think that anyone should be at that point.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion as someone who doesn't drink coffee. So what do I know, obviously, but it's just that's my coffee rant.
This one time where I invited a bunch of people over,
Yeah.
and I made a nachos, and then no one showed up.
Oh.
This is a couple of years ago. I don't know. I just thought, oh, maybe I didn't organise it very well. Some people were just generally unreliable. They forgot to tell me, oh, I've got work. Thanks for telling me. Asshole. No, it's not like I put effort into this at all. Just annoying.
You can never tell with people these days.
That's why I sometimes I go hold off organising anything for the day until, like, yep, they've confirmed they're coming, they're on their way. I'll just get some stuff set up
Truth be told, man, I'm beyond the point of organising anything.
Yeah.
I just don't do it.
I think organising this was pretty good. 'Cause I was like,
It's
'cause
easy
I-
when
'cause
it's
I say-
just two people.
yeah, because
The
well,
second
yeah,
you involve any other people, it's like, ugh.
yeah, but even sometimes it's still a bit difficult. But I like the way we organised this because I started off with, like I want to do Mab and Tom live. I think it was just after I posted the Supercars video. I was like, hey, what do you think of doing Mab and Tom live? And you're like, yep, no worries.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we'll do it, like not next weekend, but the weekend after.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about it more closer to the day.
That's like ideal for me. That's
Yeah.
like the perfect. And I try and be open, like when people are reasonable. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, in like 2 weeks, do you want to like do a thing? I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I'll almost certainly say yes, unless it's something that I don't want to do.
Yeah. And you're like, no, I hate you.
Yeah.
For a very specific reason. No. Because I
No.
just don't like you.
I just kind of just don't like the way your face looks. It's strange.
It's the way you
Gives me weird
smell.
Real weird champ energy coming off of this guy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, everyone's an adult now, you know? They got lives and jobs and wives and bobs.
Yep.
I couldn't think of the last thing to rhyme with. So I try and be open where I can, because I know my job is very flexible.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like I have less of an excuse, but that is if other people are reasonable with me. If they're like, do you want to do something today or tomorrow? I'm probably going to be like, nah.
I can't. I'm busy.
Yeah. Even if I'm not busy, I'm like, no, don't ask me this soon. I had a friend who, so when I went to uni, there was like, I had like my Wednesdays, right, were like the full on day. They're from like 9 till 10.
10 night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I used to take night classes because I was a night owl. And like I figured no one would take them, but I also happened to have classes like in the morning, so I kind of had like a class in the morning and the afternoon thing. It was a full-on day, right?
Yeah.
And for about 7 weeks in a row, I had a friend who would text me every Wednesday. Hey, you doing anything today?
As it turns out, yes.
As
I'm
it
doing
turns out,
everything today.
like last week, I'm still at uni. Stop asking.
Yeah.
Because it was like their day off. So they were like, oh, let's see what he's doing. And I just don't like that, man. I'm not down with that sickness as well.
I'm trying to organise to hang out with Luca.
Mm.
I can't remember his work schedule. He can't remember mine, but like that's okay. We'll just remind each other what's going on.
I don't know anyone's work schedule, so that's why I always say, you tell me, man.
Yeah.
I can flex.
Yeah.
Unless I've already got something penciled in. Yeah. Unless I got something penciled in, I'll be like, I can make it work. I try at least. I don't know. Life comes at you fast sometimes, I suppose. These are my general rules. Sometimes something will come up.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget things and then I accidentally organize things at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, I gotta tell one of these people that I can't do it. Yeah. But I don't know. At the same time, I feel like, you know, I'm not a teenager. I'm an adult, and I can do what I want. And, you know, I don't really like doing a lot of stuff anymore. When I was a teenager, like, the idea of going out every Friday or whatever would have been, like, great. But now I'm like, ugh, no way, dude.
Yeah.
Someone was, like, contacting me, like, hey, do you want to hang out every weekend? I'm like, no.
I mean, it depends on the person. In general, no. With particular people, of course.
It depends, I guess. I mean, like, if you and I wanted to hang out every weekend, I guess. That'd be alright, I guess. I'd kind of be
but
like...
you don't want it to get in the way of your work.
No, well, yeah, I'd kind of be like, if you and I were to hang out every weekend, and this is nothing to do...
We would have nothing to talk about.
No, it would have nothing to do with you, as much as it would be like, if we were hanging out every weekend, I'd want there to be like a reason to. Like, we're recording every weekend, right? It wouldn't be like...
I'm at your house bothering you all day.
Yeah. I think if that was the case, like, eventually I'd just be like, I wouldn't even answer the door, I'd just be like, which is kind of funny because I didn't answer the door this morning.
No.
I was kind of caught my pants down a bit. Because you were here 3 minutes early. No. But I'd just be like, it's just, you can just hang out here. I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah.
It's nothing about you. It's just like the way I am.
Well, there was a time when like you used to show up at my house and just like walk in. And be like, hey.
Yeah.
And you got told not to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Someone in the house was insecure about security.
Insecurity.
Yeah, and there was that one time you just walked into the house and then there was a cat staring at you. Like a little kitten being like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Especially after this one, was knowing more people from doing Ski for Life and like meeting them and talking to them about stuff. So I'm like, okay, so now I don't care what team I'm going to be on. I want to be in Ski for Life. I'll like, if my team's not there, I'll join another team. I'll like bring him up and say, hey, I want to do Ski for Life. Give me a team. And then I'll see some of my friends and we'll talk about the stuff we want to talk about. So I think before this year, I only wanted to go for one person. Next year, I'm going to want to go for 3 people. So just expanded, mainly because I couldn't find that one person this year on like the Sunday night, and it was like I can't see them. Where are they? And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. That's okay. But other people would have talked to. Because there was another person that the guy had shaved the top of his head one night, and grown his hair and his beard for a year, and then he shaved the top of it one night, and then the next night they shaved the whole lot off.
So it just looked different every day.
Yeah, it looked completely different. And so yeah, I was interested in that. So I asked him like, "What's going on with the hair? Are they gonna shave it?" And like, "Yep, they're gonna shave it off." I'm like, "What cabin?" They're like, "Oh yeah, it's this cabin." I'm like, "All right." So and then I saw him later that night and went and spoke to him and made some more friends.
Wonderful. See, this is what I'm saying. This is the difference with my introvertedness. If I was at Ski for Life, every night I'd be in my room like playing the Switch and then go to bed.
Yeah. You wouldn't see anyone.
People would be like, "Do you want to go out and do a thing?" Like, no.
Because Ski for Life is kind of an outgoing sort of thing. Everyone's got someone.
Well, yeah, and that's why I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And also various other reasons, but yeah.
But like it is about
socializing.
I mean, like the purpose of the event is about mental health, well-being, stuff like that, suicide prevention. So it's all about caring for one another and being respectful and stuff like that. Asking one another, "How you doing? Are you okay?" Stuff like that. And then we have this on the Saturday morning. We do this ceremony where we think about the people who are no longer with us for whatever reason. And you write on a what's it called? It's like a circular plant sort of thing.
Plant?
It's not a plant, it's like a branch sort of thing.
A wreath?
A wreath.
Oh.
So we make a wreath. Well, they're already made by some nice people. And we make one for our team. And so I wrote a little message and it said, "Thanks, Missy." Because I couldn't think of one person that I wanted to write a message to.
Right.
So I thought of 3 people instead and wrote a message that was pretty general, but still applies to each one of them.
Oh, that's sweet. I like it.
But it's really sad because like they play the song, they'll play a couple of songs, and I'm bawling my eyes out.
Oh.
And I'm like, I hate bawling my eyes out, and there's like no one there I could hug. And the one person I wanted to hug wasn't there, and then they came back and then I could hug them. Yeah, and they were bawling their eyes out too, so it was a nice little moment. And then we're like, alright, back to work, let's go. Another great thing about Ski for Life was the weather was really good. So I'm like, I think the first day, like a bright start. Maybe not the start of the day. It was kind of miserable in the first half of the day. But once we got going and the boats were in the water and people on the skis, first stop, I'm like, this is a beautiful day. I'm so glad I'm not at work.
I'm glad that there was quite a nice days, beautiful days during the summer though. Like, my summer sucked dick. Because like literally 2 months of it, I was extremely depressed.
Yeah,
So-
I know, so was I.
I didn't get to enjoy it as much, and now it's already
No.
gone. My favorite season, though, I actually think my new favorite season is spring because it's also like not at risk of destroying people's lives as much.
Mm.
With fires and shit.
Mm.
And autumn's alright. The only problem is that it just gets colder. It's like I don't like the cold.
I like the cold because I get to wear jumpers and I have lots of jumpers.
I'm not a jumpery guy.
No.
If I could pick,
No, I can't think of many times where you'd have more jumpers.
I don't like them. I don't like. I'm a summery dude. I like.
Not even like a heavy jacket or anything.
I own one. I just haven't worn it in ages.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy who I like shorts and a Hawaiian shirt on a sunny day. That's
Yeah.
my ideal fit.
Yeah,
as
if
it were.
it was a cold day, you would be inside with the heater on.
Basically, yeah. And I'd be wearing this
Yeah.
probably. I have a slim jacket that I put on when I go to the shops,
Yeah.
but I don't like going out much when it's cold and rainy.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was kind of upset that like summer just kind of came and went, but it always does, I suppose. But I did have like that feeling of like it's summer, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
This is the summer where that I'll remember forever because I'll do this, But no, instead I remember it forever for my computer just dying.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever remember it, which I probably won't, which is good. That's all right.
Yeah, well, it's like because summer's the start of the year
Mm.
or at the end of the year, and then you're like, I gotta finish off or start off with a bang.
Yeah, you get that, and you're very retrospective around that time of year as well.
Yeah.
I like to relax and just like I went to Robe for like a week, and that was good.
Yeah.
That was actually really nice. I remember, I think I said this to you as well, but I was saying it to the person I went with. I was like, while we were at Robe, we were just sitting there like watching the sunset or whatever. And I'm like, man, I'm enjoying this right now, but I think I'm gonna retroactively look back at this and think I wasn't enjoying it enough. And sure enough, I was like, just the other day, I was like, yeah, I feel that way. I wish I could go back to Robe now and just like enjoy the sunniness.
Mm.
Personally, I'd like to go live in a place like California or whatever that's like sunny almost all year round.
Mm. I wouldn't like that.
I hear
It's
people from California complain that like, oh, there's never any like cloudy days, and I'm like, that sounds lovely.
Hmm.
That's my ideal.
Like Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Although Gold Coast can have awful storms,
Yeah.
so
I went to
not necessarily Gold Coast, but just Queensland in general.
I went to the Gold Coast once when it was like just windy and kind of cold, and
Yeah.
I was like, eh. I went to Cairns, but not thing. Not what do you call it?
Why are you wiping your forehead?
It was just itchy forehead.
Oh, okay. I got an itchy spot on my head, but that's probably because it got cut short. So it's all.
At that length, we might as well just go bald and see what happens.
I'll go bald when it's time to go bald.
when nature takes its course.
Yeah, when my hair starts thinning and my hair goes, and then I'm like, alright, you're going.
Get ahead of it.
Yep. Use some weed kill, that's what I say. Kill it. Permanent, no hair.
Destroy it if you want. Was that the Star Wars quote? Kill it if you have to, the past. Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those controversial lines that's brought up all the time.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I don't know, man. I'm out of Star Wars. Although, I did start watching The Mandalorian, and that was pretty good.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's good.
It is.
I've heard WandaVision's also good.
I've
That's
also
also
watched
a
that.
Disney thing.
You know what? You probably saw me tweet about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good show. That's fun.
Mm.
I
I just
like-
like the idea of it. It reminds me of Bewitched, the ads.
There's references to Boots too.
Yeah, Bewitched is nice.
WandaVision is like really fun because like if you have like a good enough knowledge of the MCU, you can just kind of watch it and enjoy it and just think like this is what I did. I watched it and I'm like this is great, and then like it's the start of phase 4 or whatever, and I'm like I'm not gonna watch anything else
Yeah.
in this phase. I'm just gonna watch this and kind of see it as its own product, and it's good enough. I watched some reviews and people were like, oh, I don't know, the last episode kind of ruined it for me, and like, and I'm just like, I can't get that much energy out of it. All I was going to say is that I'm at this point right now, and maybe it's because when I was really in the midst of my depression, I just didn't give a shit about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm having a lot of like, who gives a shit moments.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I was like, Okay, so Skyward Sword is being re-released. They're making the Skyward Sword HD for the Switch, right?
I want to vomit.
Well, your opinions on the game itself or whatever is the same thing.
Yeah.
But people are like, it's being sold at full price, right?
But that was a rumor, wasn't it? It's not actually.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it's being sold at not $60. I thought it was like $30 or something.
I'm pretty sure it's a full price. Well, regardless of what it is now, at the time it was full $60, which for us is $80.
Yeah.
And people were really steamed about it, right? And they were like, oh my God, I can't believe they're charging this much.
Okay.
And someone asked me, I can as well, they asked me, like, what do you think? Isn't this outrageous? And I said, this in my life right now, basically my job, my career, the way that I express myself and everything is in jeopardy. I could not give less of a shit about how much Nintendo is charging for a shit game to begin with. Go away. And that's kind of been my mood recently. It's just like, this is petty shit. Like, I can't believe Nintendo would pay full price, make us pay full price for a game.
That is your biggest complaint in the world right now.
I know, that's what I'm like. I'm
so
just like,
jealous.
I'm so like, get some fucking problems, you know?
Yeah.
People are getting so steamed over it. I'm just like, I don't care. I think it's because, like, with Nintendo in particular, like, people get mad about what they do all the time, but they're not gonna fucking do anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
to complain at Nintendo is like screaming at the wind to stop.
Nintendo
right?
is like the Disney of video games.
It basically is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the way I see it when complaining about Nintendo stuff, and this is really, like, nihilistic, but I don't give a shit, because, like, I like Nintendo enough that I play games, but I can't be bothered with the discourse. The way I see it is, like, you can either scream at Nintendo, which is the equivalent of howling at the wind to stop, or you can scream at Twitter in an echo chamber where everyone agrees with you, and nothing happens. You know,
Yeah.
It's just like you just go in a perpetual cycle of circle jerking. Like, people, when the 3D All Stars collection came out, everyone was like, "It's so bad, it's so awful, it's so lazy." I'm like, yeah, I agree. And you know, like, what next?
You played it, you liked it.
I mean, I enjoyed
Well, you
it.
enjoyed each individual game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well,
It's just more
controversial
more of those
opinion.
games.
I think it's always kind of like really cool to be able to play 3 of my favorite games on the Switch
Yeah.
for a combined price of
It's a
whatever.
good, easy access.
But apparently,
console.
I'm not allowed to have that opinion. I have to hate it. So but this is what I mean. I just don't give a shit. I just don't care. People are like, don't buy it. Don't buy it because it's the only way you can send Nintendo a message. I'm like, yeah, but like.
It's like, I'm not gonna go with the public flow of how you should think about things. I'm gonna have my own opinion, and I'm gonna tell you what it is if you ask for it.
I'm just not in that area. Anyway, my whole point was that
Yeah.
I'm just in such a, like, I don't give a shit. Get some problems.
Yeah.
If your biggest, like, issue in life right now is how much Nintendo is pricing for a re-release,
Yeah.
just like go outside and like drop a rock on your foot so you can get a real problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I come across as very cold and nihilistic, but like that's just like seriously.
So I've been watching How I Met Your Mother. I'm in my second run through the series. I bought all the episodes. It's like there's 200 episodes, I think. There's like 200 episodes. I paid $100 for them, and even though I know how the series ends, kind of not happy with how it ends. Still got a lot of great moments, and it's still, especially the first season, it's beautiful. But then now I'm up to the 3rd season, and I'm like, it's just a nice show to watch. I just like watching it.
Yeah,
Very bingeable.
I've never watched How I Met Your Mother, but my equivalent is The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because it's on Disney Plus. I just watch it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I've watched all the episodes a million times, but
Do they
like,
put all of them on Disney Plus? I thought the first 10 or something.
it's all of them.
Okay.
Maybe not the most recent season, but who wants to watch that?
Mm.
And there's one single episode from the earlier seasons that they omitted
Oh.
because it has Michael Jackson in it.
What, and they said something bad about him or something good about him?
Well, there's the general belief that he's a pedophile.
Okay.
Or was a pedophile.
Alright.
I don't know. Look, the episode isn't available.
And The Simpsons is not as like it used to be like the South Park of its day,
Yeah.
but then South Park became the South Park
Yeah.
of its day.
Yeah, The Simpsons is very watered down these days.
Yeah.
It's just anyway. What I'm trying to say is like the original seasons, the golden era, as people call it. I've watched those all over and over again. If I'm like,
It's like the first 9 seasons, isn't it?
it's like my go-to thing when I can't sleep. I just like, I don't know, throw on an episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah. When I had Disney Plus on my
just enjoy
phone, and I was like, I'd never been allowed to watch The Simpsons when I was little, so here I am. I was 24, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch some Simpsons, see what it's all about. Especially like the early episodes, because they were supposed to be like they're the golden era. And so I watched it. I don't think maybe it didn't get really good until like maybe 2 or 3 or something.
Yeah, season 3 is where people think that the golden era kind of starts.
Yeah.
It's 1 and 2. Season 1 is like really different to the rest of the show because they're still kind of finding their feet.
Yeah.
Season 2 is like almost there, and then season 3 until like season
It's like masterclass.
8 or 9 is like
Lots of great moments, lots of meaningful episodes and stuff like that.
yeah, classics.
Because all the characters have been established and they started refining them.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that The Simpsons is such a huge cultural thing that you might just already kind of know what the characters are like these days without having really watched much of the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's my go-to thing. And
It's not that I never watched it before. It's that I wasn't allowed to, so it was very rare for me to see it. So it's like when I did see it, I was like, this is like getting like ice cream chocolate cake.
Ice cream for dinner, boys.
Yeah.
Every night.
And your lady go, oh my god, circ it up. Yeah.
You can do what you want there.
Parents aren't watching, you can do whatever you want.
I think they're very easily digestible as well. And you don't have to. There are very few episodes. There's like 1 or 2 episodes that are like connected to each other properly. I mean, there's like a couple, but like, so you can just watch any random episode and just get it.
I watched a video about, like a mystery about the house, like the Simpsons house.
Yeah, is it
Where-
the real gyms?
What?
The real gyms?
No, there's like the hallway or something. It was like a room, that like the house at the structure of the house and the dimensions of the house are inconsistent.
Right.
So, like,
the
sometimes-
the
so-
YouTuber was the real gyms. That's why.
Is that what it is? Okay.
It might be. It might not be.
But like it's like you see a shot of the hallway. In some episodes there's a door. In some episodes there's no door. It's like the artwork is just inconsistent.
I reckon that was probably him. Yeah, it's weird.
Like there's a
and
door
there's like
that
a room that exists sometimes, but not often.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about The Simpsons. Like I know you didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't. I don't know how much it interests you. And this is the way I approach TV shows and like recommending people things. Is like, I like it a lot. If you don't and you don't want to watch it, then whatever.
I remember.
I'd recommend it for sure. My favorite episode of all time is in season 3, so it's not that far off. It's called Homer at the Bat. For anyone wondering at home, that's my favorite episode ever.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one. Probably because you've told me.
Yeah, maybe. It's like yeah. For me, it's like how you feel about how I Met Your Mother. I think.
But I've seen YouTube videos about like the day that The Simpsons died or the day that Family Guy died.
Yeah, I've seen.
I think the Simpsons one was something like there was like a great story about Principal Skinner or something.
Yeah.
And they fucked him up. They ruined him.
Basically, it's an unfortunate result of the show going on a bit too long by that point. So Principal Skinner was this really well defined character.
Yeah.
Who was like he was funny, he was interesting, and he had a story.
Loved by many.
And then basically in one episode they retconned it entirely, and they literally said that this character that you've known and loved for years is not the character you think he is, and it sat well with nobody.
Yeah. The Family Guy one was when
it's the point
okay.
that everyone points to, where it's like this is the beginning of the decline.
Like,
There are good episodes
everyone.
after that point.
Yeah, well, of course, but like there's like 2,000 episodes after that.
Yeah,
There's probably going to be a couple of good ones.
it's kind of interesting. Like in that season, there's like a lot of episodes where like crap happens. But I think that episode is like episode 3 of a season, or I think it's episode 2, and the episode before it is one of my favorite episodes.
But
so it's kind of funny.
Wasn't the other thing about that season was that a lot of like a lot of the people in that had like a huge staff turnover in that in between seasons.
Yeah.
So like over the years since they started, the original people who'd written a lot of really good episodes in the early days, they started to go off and do different things, and by the time that season came along, half of those people were still there in the previous season, and then a bunch of them were gone in that awful season.
Yeah.
And so it was like all the good's gone, most of it's gone.
In a sense, it was kind of more of a slow burn, but yeah. It kind of fell apart after that point.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is like there's still like 8 or 9 seasons of like amazing content. Maybe 7. 7 seasons is like a lot.
8 or 9 seasons of a TV show
Is a lot anyway.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Big Bang Theory did like 13 or something, but that was crap by the time we got to the 9th one anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, so I mean, like, when I would recommend The Simpsons, I'd be like, just watch like the episode people want, and if you want to watch more, then watch more.
Yeah.
Or the seasons that people recommend.
Yeah. I don't like the videos where people are like, The Simpsons predicted this is going to happen. I'm like, is that The Simpsons' job now? That's all it's about, is predicting.
I don't like those things. It's stupid clickbait in my opinion.
Well, they're not actually... They didn't actually predict that stuff? Or?
No, it's just like The Simpsons makes a joke. Okay. Right. Of like, what might happen in the future? And then it's like, that actually happened. They predicted it. It's like, alright.
Yeah, but it's not like it's a device for predicting the future.
Yeah.
Because it may, of all the things it predicted, most of them did not come true, but some of them did. If you make 1 million predictions, it'd be like, and 2 of them came true.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's a show that's been running for like 30 plus years. Yeah. It's bound to get a couple of things right.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because it's been so long that they go through like different presidencies and stuff. Yeah. So like the jokes they make are different. Like, but I don't want to be one of those people where it's like, I hate people that are like, this was my childhood show. You have not lived until you have seen this show. I hate those people. And so I don't want to be like that. If you're like, I don't want to watch The Simpsons, then don't. I don't care. I haven't seen Friends. I haven't seen How I Met Your Mother. I haven't seen Seinfeld. And I don't really care to watch any of those. They just don't interest me. Yeah. Friends particularly, people get up my ass about.
Really?
And I don't think people realise this is an effect that has happened to me many, many times. Which is where the more you try and convince me to do something, the less likely I am to do it.
Yeah, you'd be like, don't make me be a different person.
You make me resent things, right? So like, you should watch. This didn't happen to Friends. What's a good example of something that did happen to? I guess it's like Friends is an example. Like, you should watch. Oh, you haven't seen Friends? You should watch it. Oh, yeah, I might. Yeah. And then someone else goes, oh, you haven't seen Friends? You should watch it. Like, yeah, well,
Yeah.
I just didn't. I don't really know what to tell you. It's like, dude, like, how have you not watched Friends? Like, I don't know. How haven't I watched?
Maybe I won't watch.
Yeah,
Friends.
exactly. And you get to the point where you just kind of have this spiteful moment where he's like, I just want to watch fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not at that point with Friends, though. I don't know. When things get shoved down your throat, there's a streamer, you may have heard of him, called Germa.
There's so many damn streamers. I've not heard of this.
Germa is like becoming more and more popular, I think. He's like big. I think he might have even been part of the TF2 community. I don't know. YouTube, for whatever reason though, has decided that despite me never watching a Germa stream or video, that we're going to recommend them Germa every day of every week. And I'm like, okay, don't. Like, oh, here's a clip of Germa doing this, and here's a full stream of Germa doing that, and here's a fan edit of Germa doing this. I'm like, all right, okay. And then, like, on Twitter, people are like, oh, Germa. Hey, Germa, look at this Germa picture. It's a picture of Germa. I'm like, all right, yep. I watch other streamers. They're like, did you guys see what Germa did the other day? Germa. And I want to put it out there right now. I got nothing against Germa. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure he's got amazing content. But I'm refusing to watch him now because he's been forced down my throat so goddamn much. And I know it's just me shooting myself in the foot that I'm potentially barring myself off from potentially good content because everyone's talking about him. But because it was just crammed down there so hard, I'm just like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You put me off. And I'm petty and spiteful like that. Have I told you about how I basically prevented myself from animating for like a full year because of something like that?
I can't think of it.
When I was making little animations for the beginning of my TF2 videos,
Okay.
I was, like the shotgun one, where just like a hand comes up and grabs the shotgun. It's not very well animated. I'll be the first to do that, but I didn't care, right? I was just experimenting. I was just doing little animations.
Yeah.
I posted them on certain Discords where like, show off your creations.
Oh yeah, I think.
Yeah, I've told you this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was everyone was like, "That's a cool animation, cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." Like, I'm not looking for feedback. I just wanted to show it off.
Yeah.
But one guy with the best of intentions, he was like, "Have you read the animated survival kit?" Like, I own it, but I haven't read it yet. I'm just doing this for fun. Yes, well, you should read it. And the reason you should read it is because you're not using some of the 5 fundamental rules of animating. I'm like, yeah, okay, like, I know they exist, and I'll get to them eventually when, my interest in animation increases, but I'm experimenting right now, just having fun. And it was a lot of like, you should be doing this, and why aren't you doing this? And you should go back and change this. And I'm sure what he was trying to say was, I want to see you improve.
This is the one way of doing it.
But he came across as such a controlling dick of like, basically critiquing the thing. This is a reason why artists will sometimes say, no feedback please, or whatever, because you don't want to hear it. Sometimes like, I just want to post this. I don't want to be thinking about how I could change it after I'm done.
Yeah.
And he was just railing on me, like not saying anything bad, but just being like, you should be doing this and that, and it just put me off so badly that I'm like, fine, I'm not doing it then. And it only affected me.
Yeah.
But I effectively stopped myself from progressing as an animator for a full year because I was so spiteful towards that guy.
Yeah.
That just shows how much of a bitch I am. But you know what? And it should be a lesson for other people. Don't cram shit down other people's throat. If you want someone to enjoy something, then just casually recommend it.
Yeah.
Don't be like, you gotta watch it, or you haven't lived unless you've watched it. Just be like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Watch it if you want. Be casual. Recommend it in a nice way. Why is that so fucking hard?
Mm.
I was gonna try and make like a I'm forcing people to feel the way to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't do it.